Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live. Now, I am your host, Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker. And from dealing with all I've dealt with through 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital, having to relearn to walk, talk, eat, and drink all over again at the age of 17, I want to help people get from where they are to where they want to be. And on this solution-based show, I have different guests every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we try to help you guys out. Now, we want to have a conversation, not just make a presentation. So ask as many questions as you would like, and I will for sure get them answered for you. But on tonight's show, we actually have Sherrie Dunlevy with us, and we are going to learn about her story and how she dealt with the grief. So I would like to welcome to the stage Sherrie Dunlevy.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Sherrie. You?
I've been better, quite frankly. Last week, suddenly, we lost our beloved dog, Ollie. And so I have been dealing with that intense grief. And it is quite painful, quite painful.
How long did you have Ollie?
Well, my short answer is not long enough. We got him when he was 4 months old, and we had him just shy of, he was 12, but we had him just shy of 12 years.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Sherrie.
Thank you.
No, I know that I on this show, I try to help people out. I try to help people deal with what they're dealing with and overcome what obstacles they're facing. So I would like to ask you, I know that you've had one serious setback or one serious difficulty in your life. And I know those words don't even begin to describe this event, but if you would like to tell everybody about this event that happened to you, and I am going to pull this up on my phone so I can see who is watching.
Okay, that's fine. Well, 21 years ago, when I was a television news anchor, I started right out of college. I went to Kent State University and got my first job in broadcasting. And so my audience really knew me from age 22. And they watched me fall in love and get married and have my first son. And I was pregnant with my second son. And we found out there was something terribly wrong with that pregnancy, that he had what could be a fatal condition. And so we spent most of that pregnancy trying to find a way to save our son's life. And my son was born. He lived for 29 days. And then he died. And so here we are, this young family with all these hopes and dreams, and they were shattered. So that's my biggest hurdle in life. That's been my biggest setback for sure.
Wow. And I have to ask right now, if I don't want to make that seem like it wasn't important, but I'm curious about the news anchor thing. and I know I probably shouldn't be, and that seems a little, I don't know the word, but it just doesn't seem right to me. So how long were you a news anchor?
I was a news anchor for 16 years. So this happened about 15 years into my career.
About 15 years into your career?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's kind of crazy. And wow. But I would like to take a second here and say hi to Rhonda Maria, who is going to be on the show next week, and she is from Massachusetts. So I'm very excited to have her. And I would also like to say hi to my dad, who's watching from across the street, and then Sarah, and then Nicole, who is watching on YouTube, and then Colleen, Marilyn, and Nicole again. And I just thank you guys so much for watching. And please tell us where you're from if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay. Let us know that you're watching, because it's very important to me that people see this episode, because I know it will help you. Like Sherrie has lost a child and a dog, and one doesn't compare to the other, but they're both tragic losses. And we want to help you guys deal with that tonight. So, if you would like to get into your steps on graduating grief, and I will try and come up with some more questions while you're going through those.
Okay. Well, after that loss, it took me so many years to try to deal with that. And here I am, fast forward 20, not really fast forward, but 21 years later. And I have been called to help other people step out of the pain of their grief and step into living life again on purpose and with passion and joy. And so many people have such a hard time with that after they have suffered a tremendous loss of someone that they love, or after they've gone through a divorce, or after they've lost a job or their beloved pet. They feel guilty moving on. They feel very afraid about moving on. Sometimes they have a lot of anxiety about moving forward and living life. And sometimes in those very early stages of grief, we tell ourselves we'll never be happy again. And what I found through just the recent loss of my beloved dog, which was so devastating, it just truly was. And it is a very profound type of grief, because these are beings that live with you and are with you day to day. And them being missing from your life is extremely noticeable. But so the whole idea is how do you step past that pain? So what I've tried to do is create a podcast so that I can have other people share their stories of what kind of grief maybe they are dealing with, how they got through it, how they got through to the other side, to offer hope and encouragement for other people who might not think that's possible. Because as I was saying before, you have to make a decision pretty early on that you will be okay. I posted something last week, and I said, it's okay to not be fine, but there's a difference about not being fine and knowing that someday you will be fine. And that's what graduating grief is all about. It's knowing that someday you will be fine. You will find your way. So what we do is we offer a community of people who understand great loss and great difficulty in life. Okay, so we have people in here that know this. And then we provide that community. We provide that support. We provide that encouragement for when you want to take those scary steps forward, maybe to date again, right? Or maybe to go for another job, or maybe to like I lost my child, to enjoy life and smile again, because you feel so heavy and heartbroken. We're here to hold your hand. We're here to offer you encouragement, support, and then bring in experts that can provide tools. We have so many podcasts that help. And this week's podcast actually is about a woman who grieved the loss of her health because she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and how she healed her grief and healed her body simultaneously. So if someone is grieving anything in their life, this is and you don't want to stay down, you want to progress in life, then this is the community for you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I happen to know somebody that has gone through breast cancer, and I commend her, and she actually has a show as well, and they help people deal with this kind of stuff as well. But it's pretty awesome that you do that.
Well, thank you.
Now, I know, like, when I lost my mom, it was October 21st, 2016. Yeah. So it's been a little while now, but I had trouble sleeping for nights after she left us, and every time I would close my eyes, I would just see her laying there in the bed, not breathing, and them pumping on her chest, and that was a terrible sight for me. And how would you suggest dealing with something like that when people go through something like that?
Well, that is traumatic. That's almost like you have PTSD from that. I can only share with you what I'm currently doing, because my precious puppy died right beside me in bed. I didn't even know he was dying, right? So when I realized that he was in distress, it was like just minutes before it was too late. And so it was very traumatic, trying to revive him, trying to help him. And so when my mind goes to that, what I do is I talk very kindly to myself, and I say, honey, don't remember him like that. Those are the last moments of his life. Remember the beautiful times of the 12 years that you had together. And so I went through my phone, and I actually picked my favorite picture of my dog when he buried his first bone in the dirt. And there's a close-up picture of him with the dirt all over his face, and he just looks so proud of himself. And so anytime my mind tries to go there, I immediately put that picture in my head, and that bad picture goes away.
Great advice, though. Seriously, because I don't have that issue anymore, but for those few days I did have that issue, and I know that there are a lot of people dealing with PTSD, especially when they have come home from war and things. Is there anything any idea that you have that you could give them and let them try things out?
Well, I mean, they can try that. I'm certainly, not a therapist or a counselor.
Yeah.
I'm just a mother who was able to step out of the pain of my grief and step into living a life. I mean, after that, my son is now 24, my other son. I've totally switched careers after age 50. I wrote a number one best-selling book. I've started this community. I've started a podcast. I've totally reinvented my life. I love to travel. I love to smile. I love to laugh. I love my life. And that's what I want other people to do too. I don't want anyone to get to the end of their life. And, I believe in the afterlife, and I don't want God to say, Sherrie, I gave you 50, 60 years after your son died. What did you do with it? I don't want to say I laid in a fetal position and cried my eyes out. I want to be able to take whatever I can from the situation and help other people who might be in that situation and help ease their suffering somewhat.
Yes, that is perfect. And that's a perfect segue to my next thing. Well, actually, two things. I have to say hi to Ashanti Clemens, Crystal Smith, Tara Kirkpatrick, and Brittany Funches. So we thank you guys so much for watching with us, and we ask you if you would please share this video out, invite people to watch this video, and especially anybody that is dealing with the grief of losing someone or something in their life. But I have also written a journal to help you guys out in this life. And in this journal, it is 9 weeks, it's 1,500 hours, and it's supposed to give you more perspective on life, help you live with gratitude, and give you long term goals in life. But the best part about this journal is it is the first week of this journal is available for free. So all you have to do is go to www.jeffmarconetejr.com/journal, and I will put that address up on the screen there. You enter a few things and you get the first 7 days of my journal for free. So I definitely would appreciate you guys doing that. But Sherrie, how can people get the book and how can they listen to the podcast? And is there any other contact information that you have to help people deal with these things?
Right. Well, I guess the first thing that I would say is if anybody is wondering whether they're ready to graduate their grief, I've created a quiz that will let you find out. And you just go to graduatinggrief.com and you can take that quiz and find out where you score on that and how far along you are in that process. You can find me at sherriedunlevy.com. That's SherrieDunlevy.com. That's where you can buy my book and the podcast. Any place where it's on sherriedunlevy.com, but Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, it's there. And
what's the name of this podcast?
Graduating Grief, just like the group.
Graduating Grief. Now that's a real shocker, because that's what I kind of made this episode name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a great idea that you had there.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience or anybody out there?
Well, I just believe that all of us are put on this earth to share gifts, talents, and abilities. And just because something has sidelined us in life doesn't mean that gives us permission to stop. I feel that all of us can live life. We search for our purpose, but just live on purpose, live with purpose, and seek joy and passion. And that way, that's how you're going to make your impact on this world.
That is great advice, and I thank you so much for being here tonight, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with my viewers and me. So I appreciate it so much, but I would like to tell everybody something, including you, Sherrie.
Okay.
You need to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Guys, I'm Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker, telling you to graduate your grief and remember to make every second count. Oh, and Sherrie, I just want to tell you that Maria just followed you on Twitter.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you